Welcome to the Car Guys. This week we're back here at the Octane collection to look around this vast array of beautiful supercars and also to ask the question, why are watches and cars so inextricably linked?
We're going to spend some time looking at each car individually and see if we can match watches to them.
So here we are in this beautiful 356 1600S, timeless classic Porsche. What we're doing today is not only exploring this whole reason why watches and cars go together so perfectly and are bought by the same people, but also going through the cars that we've got here, this beautiful selection of cars, which we've got, you know, modern cars and classics.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And really taking some of the watches that we've got in our collection and matching them to the car.
People who are into their cars, properly into their cars, are also into their watches as well.
It's the history, it's the mechanics, it's the fact that you can actually use them as well. So these aren't just things that you can, as with cars, you can go out and drive them. With watches, you can wear them, you can enjoy them. Buying a watch is very much an emotional decision. It's something that you do with your heart, the same as a car.
When you go and buy a new car, sometimes they cover it over before you get it, and they give you like a bunch of flowers for the other half. You know, they go through the whole awkward. They go through a whole process of delivering the car to you and making it a bit of an event that you've picked up a new car. And when you buy a new watch, it's very similar to that.
I get the same feeling looking at a beautiful car as a beautiful watch. I get exactly the same buzz buying a new watch as buying a new car. It doesn't matter about the scale or the different prices or whatever. Cars can have history, can have provenance, can have one model that's particularly special because it was owned by a certain person or because it went through a certain thing like a war. You find out about why it's special, and from that moment on you have to have it. You've just got to get it.
And then the particular model, the one that's the proper one to have,
and then you've got the thrill of the chase.
How do I get it? Where do I get it? Can I get it?
There's only one available. Oh my God, I've got to get it. I think there's definitely an argument in terms of investment point of view. I think watches and cars go together perfectly because you've got some watches which are worth lots more than others, and those are the ones to collect. You've got ones that are harder to obtain, so there's the thrill of obtaining those. But
also at the same time, because it's a desire and a heart thing, is that some watches you buy, like cars, that you know you're never going to make money on, they're never going to be an investment. You just look at them and go, I know I'm going to literally lose my lunch on this,
but I just love it.
I just love it. I just got to have it. I've got to have it.
Yeah, there's plenty of those in our collections, that's for sure. In the car world, you've got this situation where if you've got if you bought loads of the same car, if you've got a great relationship with your dealer, then you might have a chance of getting one of those special
ones.
And that's exactly the same as Rolex, particularly at the moment, is that you've got no chance of getting a list price special watch, particularly stainless steel. You try and get a Batman or a Hulk or a Daytona, no chance unless you've filleted the owner of the jewellery shop, unless you've been...
his mum. So I think the whole landscape of buying and getting special watches and or cars has utterly changed in the last 5 years, where they've become much more collectible and people want to be seen wearing them, whether or not they want them or not.
And the demand has gone up.
And the demand goes up.
Yep.
I think that's kind of where we want to come from today, is to show you what the process is when we go through. And thankfully, luckily, thanks to the guys here, we've got a great opportunity to kind of do watch and car matching.
Or as we like to call it, watch Matchmaker. Right, so as you can see, I'm quite cramped in here. I'm quite cramped.
We've squeezed ourselves into this. I'm not being funny, right? But for what is an enormous car, it is enormous, this Ford GT. And half small in here.
Very small. Yeah.
I mean, it's very wide, but it's not very.
There's the world's most stupid doors.
They're fine, but you do have to duck. You do feel yourself having to duck every time you close them, in case you take the top of your head off.
But I have to say, it is beautiful.
Oh, it's amazing. It is incredible in here.
So this particular Ford GT is the Heritage Edition. So you've got the Gulf colours, which obviously is the coolest thing ever. It's also got the Roush supercharger in it, which takes the brake horsepower up to, wait for it,
go on,
790. 0 to 60, 3.3 seconds, and what a car. You make it look like you're in Le Mans. And how much do you think this piece of beautiful Gulf liveried Fordness is?
£1 billion.
£300,000.
Actually, that's not bad. Also, the interior in this car is absolutely outstanding. all this lovely machined aluminium engineering masterpiece, isn't it? Simplicity as well, absolutely simple.
Yeah, look at this,
Little controls in the middle, straight ahead of you, rev counter, obviously. Only goes up to 6,500, but then it is a big stonking V8. And then everything kind of, as it becomes less and less important, moves further and further away to the middle of the car, culminating in the Speedo, which is on the far right-hand side, which you have to take your eyes completely off the road to see.
So more important than the speed you're going, according to Ford, is the fuel level. Yep, agree with that.
Oil pressure, engine temperature, I agree with all of those.
Voltmeter, so the battery volt level is more important than the speed you're going.
It's probably about there.
And what watch do you think perfectly suits this car then, Jason?
There literally can be only one watch, right? There can only be one watch, and that is the Tag Heuer Monaco. I've wanted one of these for so long. I love the shape of it, I love the size of it, everything about it is perfect.
Why does that watch match this car?
So this watch was synonymous with the Le Mans 24-hour film with Steve McQueen.
Yep.
And the story goes, and it may be urban legend, who knows, that Tag were giving these out to the crew members, and Steve McQueen said, why has everyone else got one of those and not me? So he ended up getting one. So this is the watch that he wore, obviously with a Golf liveried car and obviously with a full GT, right? Because the whole thing ties together.
This is a 1962 Porsche 356B 1600S. Ivory white with black vinyl interior. And back in the 60s, this car was good for 0 to 60 in 15 seconds and 120 miles an hour top speed. This one's up at Fast Classics for 112,995. Call it 113,000 to you, Squire. And it's done 89,000 miles, but it has been restored to a very high standard. So it's kind of as new in here. Because it's such a beautiful, timeless, incredibly historic shape.
Yep.
I thought this car suits perfectly the Patek Philippe Calatrava. It's got a beautiful ivory face, very, very simple, almost no markings on it at all.
Yep.
Very thin, very elegant. It comes on this alligator strap. It's that history, you know, Patek Philippe, incredible, historic, beautifully engineered brand, exactly the same as Porsche. Look how simple the dashboard is.
Amazing.
In here, everything is exactly where it should be.
I think it's a great watch. I think it matches this car.
So next up, we've got this magnificent McLaren MP4/12C. We are in what could be described as a modern supercar steal. This is a one-owner car that's done 2,000 miles, and it is £100,000.
Seriously, this is an absolute bargain.
That is ridiculous. You would have paid, what, 200,000 or something crazy for this when it came out?
Honestly, we just got in this car and we were like, this is like getting in the 675. It's ridiculous. Why is it the same?
I think now these are very classic.
Buy this car.
Yeah, stop it. I think that they have this design, which was quite outlandish at the time, a bit like how the 720 is a bit outlandish now. But this has aged really, really well. It's a beautiful car. It's the sort of thing bought by people who don't want to be too showy, people in the know. This is a very elegant but packs a massive punch supercar for the same reasons really that this is an understated, powerful, luxurious, elegant car. I've chosen the Patek Philippe Nautilus, the classic stainless steel one designed by Gerald Genta. This is a truly elegant watch. It's beautiful in stainless steel. It's got a sort of light grey graduated face, just so beautiful, simple, elegant. It's the one that everyone wants. It's got a 9-year waiting list, this watch, so if you can get hold of one, I mean, grab it straight away because this is a very, very sought after watch.
I think it goes really well with this car.
As McLaren gets bigger, people will hark back to the original one. This is a 2011 car, 8 years old.
It's nothing.
And it's done 2,000 miles, and it's right here for you. This is a Ferrari 550 Barchetta, which is a limited edition version of the sort of 550 Maranello.
Yeah.
448 of these made in the world.
Incredible.
Left-hand drive, so obviously there's more of these around, but it's in what I think is Tour de France blue racing harnesses.
Blue harnesses.
Whoa.
Crema leather.
Yep. perfect. And it's a manual car as well. That's the most important thing.
It does feel incredibly big in here. Very spacious. Because obviously it's soft top, we've got what looks like an afterthought of a windscreen. Because the top of the windscreen's so very far away from you.
It's a very small windscreen,
Very small windscreen. Looks like you're looking through a letterbox.
2001 car.
Right.
How many miles do you think it's done?
It's got to be 12, 15,000, 16,000.
570 miles.
570?
I mean...
That's crazy.
Drive your cars. Drive them.
What's the matter with you people?
5.5 litre V12 Ferrari, where the roof folds back and you've got the open air experience. This is a proper Monaco car.
This is the type of car that you want to be up and down the Riviera in.
Oh. So the watch I've chosen for this one echoes many of the same sentiments. So this is an IWC Ingenieur limited edition with a blue rubber strap on it. It's blue face with orange decals on it because it's a little bit showy, a bit like this car. You want to be seen with it. Perfectly suits being around Monaco. When you're sat here like this, driving with your car with your watch on there, this is a good accompaniment, I think, for this. It suits the character of the car pretty well.
Yeah, I have to agree. And of course, it's blue and orange, which means it's amazing.
Yeah, because all men love blue and orange. It's just a thing.
I love the detail within the dial, but it's not a small watch. So if you've got very delicate little wrists like I have, it does come up quite big, but a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Whereas I like it's quite chunky and quite heavy, a bit like this car. This is it, the holy grail, the most beautiful car here, in my opinion, the Shelby Mustang GT 500.
Eleanor.
This is such an iconic piece of automotive history. You've got the deep dish dials, everything is just so analog, 4-speed manual transmission.
So that's got to be quite rare for this car, a manual transmission.
Oh.
Do you know what? I love that the seat belts are bolted to the roll cage.
Wooden steering wheel, black vinyl. You got the silver strip on there. All the badges, all the stickers are in here. What did you say this was? 1967 car?
1967 car. Oh, ordered in November 1966, delivered in February of 1967.
And it's in bastard black. Oh.
We don't think that's the original colour though, do we?
And it's sat right next to a Bullet Mustang.
But not just any Bullet Mustang, is it?
It's my Bullet Mustang? Is that what you mean?
No, that Bullet Mustang has a Cobra race engine in it. So apparently it's even more leery than it would be if it were a normal Bullet Mustang.
Why wouldn't we buy both of these right now? Why? Tell me why. Honestly, I love this car so much.
Not as much as I love it.
Everything, all the details. On the brake pedal, there's a silver disc built into the brake pedal that says
disc
brakes.
Like that's a new thing.
Oh, disc brakes.
Oh, brilliant! So we can stop.
Yes, I think I'll brake now. It's got disc brakes. I'll tell you what. Coming soon to a Car Guys near you is a test drive of this car. Right, that is happening
from the Car Guys HQ because it's going to get bought and delivered in about 2 days.
Yeah, both of these cars.
Yeah, we'll have both of them.
I'd have both these cars. So the watch I've chosen for this car, I mean, it's an obvious choice, I guess, given the racing pedigree and just the sheer history of it, is the Rolex Daytona, which in this case is a black face, so it's a stainless steel, none of your fancy gold, none of your gaudy diamonds or half gold or full
Nonsense.
Gold. This is a good, honest, blue collar, stainless steel, black face Daytona, the real working class hero, just like this car.
Just like this car.
I mean, you can't read it, obviously. You can't tell the time on it. That's not the point. In the same way here, where, I mean,
You're not cornering in it.
No, exactly. I'm not cornering, and I'm not telling what speed I'm going because there's so much glare on all the dials.
No.
This watch matches this car perfectly. You'd be proud to wear it. It is an absolute perfect match as far as I'm concerned.
Totally agree.
Have you ever sat in an Enzo before?
Of course I haven't sat in an Enzo before. I'm a common person.
Do you want to pop that Enzo-shaped cherry?
Obviously. This is, the cabin's much smaller than I was expecting it to be. It feels very purposeful. The steering wheel's quite small and a very odd shape.
Look at all the carbon.
Carbon's just amazing, isn't it?
Wow, this is epic.
This is epic.
This is a lovely,
lovely
car.
window winders as well. Look at those. Why? Well, that is massively over-engineered for what it needs to do, isn't it? I've got a hose reel at home that looks like that.
I think the perfect watch for this car is the AP, the carbon AP they did. That had a bit of yellow on it, had sort of yellow hands on it. Yeah. We'll show you a picture of that, but I think that's the perfect watch to go with this car.
That would be a good watch.
That would be amazing.
I feel like you do need a chronograph though, because you're in a racing car.
What else can you say about the Ferrari 599 GTO? It's a beast. It's one of the most desirable Ferraris. It's a 6-litre V12. This is a 2010 car. It's done nearly 15,000 miles. Left-hand drive, but that does make it a lot more affordable because this car in right-hand drive would almost certainly be £650,000. This one, £400,000. Black interior with red exterior, grey roof. It's a good combination actually. A lot of these cars have got garish red interiors, so black is a bit of a relief. One of 599 cars. The watch that I picked to go with this car is the Rolex GMT Master 2, otherwise known as the Coke. It's got a black and red bezel on it, stainless steel. Very collectible watch. The reason I've chose this is obviously Rolex are inextricably linked to motorsport. This is the true racing version of the 599. It's red and black, same as this car. This is the stick dial, which for those anal enough to know a bit about Rolexes means that the 2 on the GMT Master 2 just has a couple of sticks rather than the traditional numerals, which makes it a lot more valuable apparently. I think it suits this car very, very well.
Here I am in a 1974 G-bodied RS Porsche. Modern day equivalent would be the GT3 Touring. So we've got carpets, we've got nice plush leather seats, MFI fuel injection, mechanical fuel injection in it. This car was only made for a year. This is not the lightweight 1973 RS. This car comes in cinnamon leather with bitter chocolate as the outside. It is a timeless classic. And the watch that I've picked to go with this is the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch. Again, a timeless classic, pretty much unchanged in this form from when it was released. This is the plexiglass model. They use plexiglass on the Moonwatch because if it were to break in zero gravity, you'd have lots of pieces of glass flying around and you don't really want your spacesuit being ripped by that, so it's this plexiglass. The downside of choosing a Speedmaster, although they are timeless, they're classic and very elegant. We've got the chronograph in there. The problem is that there are at least 37 million different variations of the Speedmaster. There are special edition Apollo watches, there are special edition anniversary for every year. There's ones with moons on them, there's ones with suns on them, there are different coloured ones. This is just the original classic. The same way that we love this Porsche because it's the original and the classic. This is boyhood dream stuff right now. I'm about to get into a Metro 6R4. Anybody of our age will know why this is very significant. So this is a 3-litre V6 mounted literally just behind my left buttock. This is the engine they used in the Jaguar XJ220. You're going to be wearing earplugs driving this. Not only is there no sound deadening between you and the massive V6 engine that's sitting behind you, but there's actually a big hole to allow the noise straight through. I don't know if this car was originally left-hand drive and they converted it, I don't know, but this is definitely a left-hand drive dashboard. This beast will get to 60 in 3.2 seconds. Just imagine, back in the 80s, 3.2 seconds. Top speed of 155 miles an hour. Although that's not really about the top speed in this car, it's about how quickly it gets there on gravel or on ice. This car is currently up for £500,000 of your earth pounds, worth every single penny, in my opinion. And the watch that I've decided to pair with this is the Tudor Chrono. This is a reissue of an original Tudor watch. This watch says a lot to me because it's blue and it's got an orange second hand.
Do you need more blood sugar? Do you need something sweet?
I'm running down, my batteries are flat.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this detailed look at the cars available at the Octane collection and also a vibrant discussion about watches.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave comments and ding the notification bell for when we've got another video uploaded. Cheers.